Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting, and it's Paydirt review time. A huge bucket of Paydirt to go through today. This is Lynch Mining's American Freedom Paydirt, their 1 ounce bucket. Awesome stuff here. Now you might be wondering why you're facing me instead of the overhead as I usually do for videos. And that is because this is also a mail call. I need to do a huge shout out to a really good friend of mine, Rod Kurt. He offered to send me this. In fact, he actually didn't tell me it was this. He emailed me a couple weeks ago and he said, hey, I've got some Lynch Mining Paydirt. Do you want to review it? I'll send it to you. I emailed him back. I said, well, it depends on which one. I just reviewed some. I had some in stock to review. So I didn't want him sending me something that, would be redundant. He said this. He said, I've got a bucket of the Lynch Mining's American Freedom Paydirt. Do you want it? And the first thing I said was yes. Then I came to my senses. I emailed him back immediately. And I said, dude, you really need to keep this for yourself. I can't take this from you. He insisted. He said, no, I'm going to be on the road for a month. I don't want it sitting around. I want you to review it. All I want back is my gold. So he wants the gold back, and he also wants the bucket back because obviously this is a really cool bucket. I've still got my gem bucket, so I totally understand about that part for wanting to keep the bucket. I like to keep all my really cool bags and stuff like that. So I will miss out on the bucket, but I'll have to probably eventually get another one of their buckets to review. So I'm sure I'll get another bucket. But Rod Kurt, really great guy. Definitely getting his bucket back. Definitely getting his gold back. And I'm actually wearing This Is My Lucky Gold Panning shirt today just to make sure Rod Kurt gets as much gold as possible out of this bucket. And one thing about this bucket of Paydirt is it starts on the spot as on the day he got it. I'm basing this all on the day that Rod Kurt received it, not on the day I received it because he shipped it to me. But on the day that Rod Kurt received this, he had a guaranteed 90.28% ROI guaranteed on this bucket. So you really can't beat that. I mean, it's guaranteed 90% of your money back. And that looks like a lot of fun. 10% worth of fun at least. So I'm hoping to cut that down with my This Is My Lucky Gold Panning shirt. So I'm going to try and get this to a 100%, I'm hoping. That's what I'm really hoping for. So that way Kurt gets all his money back and he gets a cool bucket. And then I got to have some fun out of it. Now let me read you the description for this bucket. And then I'm going to spin it around in a second. So this is American Freedom Paydirt, 2.5-gallon bucket, unclassified material. Homes for Our Troops exist to restore the gift of freedom and independence to our nation's most severely injured veterans through the gift of a specially adapted home. The success of our mission depends on the participation from people like you. For every jar or bucket of American Freedom Paydirt sold, we at Lynch Mining, LLC will make a donation to the Homes for Our Troops Foundation. Each bucket sold, we will donate 3% of the total to www.hfotusa.org, which is the website for the Homes for Our Troops. At least 1 ounce of gold in each bucket guaranteed. Each bucket will weigh roughly 30 pounds and will come with a sealed screw top. Now let me mention something about that sealed screw top. When I got this bucket in, I said, okay, let me open it up, prepare it, make sure everything's in there, make sure it's not wet, and all that. I couldn't get the bucket open. I tried and I tried. I just couldn't get the bucket open. And I remembered with the gem Paydirt bucket, I couldn't get that bucket open either. I mean, so if you've got severe arthritis, you might want to rethink this, or at least do like I did. In the original bucket, I cut it open. I just cut the side here and I popped it open, made it easy. But I didn't want to mess up Rod Kurt's bucket, so I kept pulling. And I mean, I even emailed Rod back and said, I think I might seriously send this bucket back to you because I can't open it. But eventually I got it open. I had to pry it underneath a little bit with a screwdriver. So if you can't get it open, take a screwdriver in there, pry it a little bit. Because what happens is when they're sealing it, it gets a little bit of dirt in there, and it just locks that baby up nice and tight. Because they probably have a machine turning this to get it on tight so it doesn't open in transit. And that mixed in with just the rocks that get caught in there, whew, that thing was a beast to get open. So it better have 100% gold for all the work I put into it already. Now, unfortunately, this is so much dirt. It's about 30 pounds. I'm not going to be able to do the classification for you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go classify it. I'm going to switch over to overhead, and then we're going to start panning this stuff out. I will show you all the dirt and show you what classifications it is, and then we're going to switch and I will pan all this material out so Rod can see exactly, if he was panning it, what kind of gold he'd see. So let me spin this around, go to the overhead, and be right back. Well, I've finished classifying everything down, and as you can see, there is a ton of material here. It looks so much more once you get it into pans, and I really wish I would have went and dug out my really big classifiers, because this took forever with my little 6-inch classifiers, and I was about halfway through it when I realized that, but then it was too late. I was all in, so I figured I would just finish classifying it. Now, let's show you the material. For plus 10, I have an entire full pan of it, plus some extra. These are really big rocks. They were I didn't want to pan out. They were just too big. I figured I'd set them to the side. I will get them wet and wash them anyway, just in case there's any gold stuck to them. So I will do that. But plus 10, entire full pan. Minus 10 plus 20, again, a full pan. For the minus 20 plus 40, I actually got 2 pans of material, so the majority of the material in this is in this classification. And I have about 3/4 of a pan here of minus 40 material. So I'm pretty glad at that. I was kind of worried in the beginning that I was going to get a lot of minus 40 material, and that's a lot of material to be going through. So let me show you if there's anything magnetic in it. It doesn't seem too bad. And there's some, but there's not a lot. So this really reminds me, it's the typical, it looks exactly like Lynch mining Paydirt. It's that weird, it's the brown material. You'll know, if you ever bought Lynch mining, it's got a very distinctive look. It is from Arizona. Anything from the Belmont area or in that area, you will see it all comes looking like this. And this reminds me more of their reserve Paydirt or their Gizmos Paydirt, not their black label, which is really good because I didn't want to go through a ton of black sands, especially since I'm going to be panning all this on this video, and that would have been a nightmare if it had a ton of black sand. So I'm going to go get some really clean water, start this off, and I'm going to move my camera yet again, and we're just going to start panning down the plus 10 material. All right, got my water set up, got my pan ready, and I got some material. So let's start going through this. I don't expect to find any gold in this, but I do want to wash it down just to see. So might as well start going through it. Let you listen to some music as I go through this, and then we'll cut to each part, and I'll give you a little brief before I do. So let's listen to some music. All minus 40, so I'm going to get this out, put it in the minus 40 pan, and we'll pan that out later. And that's what I told him, trying to get to 100% ROI for my boy Rod here, so every little bit will count. So let me scoop this up. I will put this actually in a pan to the side, and then we'll just continue with the plus 10. there you go. It's a nice pile. Some really big pieces in here. So a lot of thin little flakes like this one that just did not want to sink and kept popping their heads up. And there is some fine gold in here, which is why I'm not cleaning it more. Just because, I don't know if I'm going to show you. Yeah. But there was a lot of fine gold caught up in there too. So I want to save that and make sure I put it in its right category. So I'm going to, a really nice pile of gold. Oh man. That's a big solid one there. And this one. And as you saw while I was running my fingers through it to make sure there was no mud, because there is a lot of floaters in here. So I wanted to make sure there was no mud. And I also was pulling out any of the quartz just in case. I will go through this to see if there's any gold in it. I don't think there is. But it's always good just to double check, because I really want this, as always, 100% ROI. So I'm going to go change out my water. I don't know if you could see it in the video, but originally I had a catch pan in here, or I put one in, and it was just filling up too fast. So what I'm going to do is go dump this water now into a bucket, replenish it with new water, and then later I can go back and, without having to classify it, pan through it again to make sure I catch every little piece of gold with this. So I'm going to come back and we're going to do the minus 10 plus 20 material. All right, got some clean water. Now let's go through the minus 10 plus 20. And I don't know if you could see that, but there's a little piece of gold right on top. So I know there's gold in here, so I'm going to let you listen to more music, and I'm going to pan through this off. we go. Minus 10 plus 20 gold. Not as much as I thought would be there. So I'm guessing a lot of gold's going to be in the minus 20 plus 40. Because I really don't want a lot to be in the minus 40. But all right, I am done for the day. I'm going to go clean up my water, set it all up for tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll be back to tackle the minus 20. Minus 20 plus 40. And that's a lot of Paydirt. That was 2 pans full. So that might be a really long one. I'm going to have to fast forward that one a lot. All right, be right back. I'm going to finish cleaning this up and be back tomorrow. Well, I'm back. I had to take a little break. There's a lot of panning all at once, and I've got a lot more to do. Minus 20 plus 40 in here as well as here. Get both of those all the way in there. So 2 full pans. So let's just start getting to it. Let you listen to some even more music, and I'm going to pan on. back starting to give out. My water's getting really silty, but I am 1 pan down and we've got 1 pan left. So I'm going to take a break for a few minutes. Try and see if I can't get this silt to settle down. If not, I guess I'll go change my water. But be right back with the rest of this minus 20 plus 40 material. go. Still need a lot of cleanup. A lot of gold right there. A lot more than I thought would be in this classification. When I originally got this bucket, I thought almost all of it was going to be in the plus 10. But obviously, this is really spread out. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to go clean the rest of this out. And then I'm just going to be back and show you the gold. This video is taking way too long. I still have this monster bowl of minus 40 to go through. So I'm just going to do that without filming it because this is already a 3-hour show. I haven't edited it yet, so it'll be down from 3 hours. But this is going to take me a full day to go through. And I don't want to have to edit 12 hours more of video. So this is going to be it for now. I'm going to be right back and show you the gold I found. Well, finished panning everything out, and that took a long time. If you watch the short version, you have no idea how long it took. If you watch the long version, you still have no idea how long it took. In fact, I had to cheat on this review. Typically, I only pan out all the material all 3 times just to make sure I find all the gold. But in this case, after I panned most of it the second time, I gave up and just ran it through my gold cube because this was just taking forever. And I still wanted this video up to be up on Monday. It was supposed to be up last Friday, but it's just taking forever. So let's just get right to the gold I found. In the plus 10, I found a lot of gold. As I showed you in the little thing, a lot of big chunky pieces, a lot of pickers, a lot of nuggets, some really nice gold. And then I got to the minus 10 plus 20 and found even more gold. Not as much as I really thought I would find, but I'm not going to complain. I found a lot of gold, too much to count. Some of it, like this one, probably should have been in the plus 10, probably just skated right through. So, still very happy with that though. And then in the minus 20 plus 40, I found even more gold and a lot of it. And I mean, an amazing amount of gold. This is where the motherlode was. So I was ecstatic about that. And then I got to the minus 40 and found even more gold, a lot of gold, especially considering that this is Lynch mining. And Lynch mining is not known for a ton of fine gold. You usually will find a little bit in all their little bags, but not a ton. So I was really surprised at this. I mean, this is a lot of gold in the minus 40. And I'm going to put these in some boats, and then we're going to weigh it up. Let's zoom you in and let's weigh it up. I'm going to do a couple of nuggets first just to see. Just out of curiosity, I want to see how some of these big ones are. I think this goes 0.782. 1.299. I think that was the beast. Yeah, that's going to have been the beast. That's the... Yeah. So that's it. That's the beast right there. 1 point... It's got another little piece in there. 1.299. So let's just weigh up all the... $14.903. Minus 10 plus 20. $2.695. Now for the other mother lode. The minus 20 plus 40. $10.625. And then in that 4.277. Now I'm going to do something a little different. I'm not going to mix it all together, so I'm just going to write it down. $0.374. I guess I can just switch out those. A little bitty bit I got in this. $0.0951. And then the jackpot. $0.5257. And just because I wrote it down wrong, I need to double check this. And the reason I'm doing it like this, just so you know, is so I can send it to Rod in all the different classifications. I don't want to mix it all up for him. This way he can look at it in all the classifications just like I got. All right, so total is 1.1413 ounces. So we got over the ounce I was guaranteed. And I'm going to be right back with the ROI and the review. All right, finished writing up my review, calculating my ROI, and let's get to it. This again was from lynchmining.com. It was their American Freedom 2.5 gallon bucket. It had 1 ounce of gold guaranteed. Its cost was $1,380. Shipping was $64. Total cost $1,444. Gold recovered, all this shiny gold stuff right here, 1.14 ounces. So I recovered well over the 1 ounce guaranteed. I got 1.14 ounces. Gold spot on the day that my buddy Rod Kurt received this was $1,311.44, which means this gold's value right here is $1,495.04. So that's right, my ROI, or actually Rod's ROI for this, is 103.53%. So totally awesome. And even if he wouldn't have got the little extra in there, this bucket was guaranteed on the day he bought it and the day he received it a 90.82% ROI. So no matter what, he was going to be getting a 90% return on his money. Instead, he got 103%. So my scale, that's a perfect 10. For fun factor, a 10. There's no way you cannot get a 10 for all that gold. I mean, massive amounts of gold, a ton of fun. It'd probably be 10 times more fun if I wouldn't have been rushing it trying to get a video shot. But, you know, that's the burden of the beast. I did rush it some, and one of these days I will get one for me, and I won't shoot a video on it. I will just spend a year panning it out. For Paydirt description, this is where it falls. I'm only giving him a 4. And what's sad is the first time I ever reviewed Lynch Mining, they had a great description. And then they grew big and they changed their website and they went to a new format, and their descriptions all just got butchered and hammered and cut and spliced. And they've just never gotten back to putting up a really good description. So it really sucks. They do talk a lot about their donations to the homes for our troops, but that's not really anything about the Paydirt itself. So that was really lacking. So I'm only giving them a 4 for that. For quantity and packaging, I'm giving them a 10 and a 10. The packaging is awesome. They really pack these buckets. I got one for my gem bucket, and this one, Rod just reshipped it to me in the same packaging. So not only did it get shipped to him in that packaging, but it got shipped to me in the same packaging and beautifully arrived. They wrap it up really good. So those things, and plus, like I told you earlier, I could not get that lid off. They secure that bad boy on there tough, so they're getting a 10 for that. For customer service and shipping, they're only getting a 9. Now, I give them 10 points for the customer service. In fact, I would give them extra for their customer service. But for shipping, they're getting, this is where their hit is. Now, I would give them a 6 for shipping because it took 3 weeks to ship this bucket. But the customer service on this, after 2 weeks, or actually it was after a week, they called him, and they messaged him twice, and he didn't reply, and then they called him, and there was a question about the order. They had to get something fixed on the order, and it delayed it a week. It was a week, so then it took 2 weeks for them to ship it. So it was really, in reality, it took 2 weeks to ship this, which I still think is too long. They do state on their website it will take about that long, but I don't think anybody should be taking that long. I just don't. So I would give them a 6, except for the customer service made up for it by them calling it, and that's part of the delay. So they made up for it. And also in the customer service, Rod told me they emailed him 4 times, and every time he replied, they replied instantly to him. So he said the customer service was excellent. I think that's excellent customer service. Me personally, I've never had a problem with them, but I do know some people have had issues. But that's with any big company. You're always going to get a few people that just slip through the cracks. But customer service and shipping, they are getting a 9. 10 for customer service and an 8 for shipping. So total score was an 8.6, which really suffered from that 4 description. You know, if they had just got their description up to somewhere around an 8, it would have ended up with a score of 9.4. If they had a 10 description like they used to in the old days, their score would have been a 9.8 with this bucket. Unbelievable. That description of a 4 really killed them, so it's an 8.6 with them. I'm not going to complain, though. Most people are really going to be looking for the ROI and the fun factor, and this was a hit on both categories. Unfortunately, you know, the shipping is very delayed with Lynch Mining, and the description is a little lacking, but I'm not going to complain. This was a great bucket of fun. My buddy Rod got a 100% ROI on it, and that's one of the reasons I think people love Lynch Mining so much, is because not only are you always guaranteed a good amount of gold, but a lot of times you will get over what you're guaranteed. In fact, one of my subscribers recently emailed me or messaged me. They're also a Patreon member of mine, Joel Jeffrey, and you'll probably see him, and he's always comments in all my videos, a really great guy, but he won one of my Patreon giveaways, and I ordered him a bag, or actually it was a jar of the Gizmo Supremo XL, and he ended up finding in that 3.85 grams of gold. And that jar is only guaranteed 2 grams. So he almost found double what was guaranteed. He found 3.85 grams instead of 2. Absolutely awesome. I'm glad he won that. He does have a video. Actually, if you look at any of his comments below and click on his link to his channel, he did tell me he put up a 4-part series about that, so you can see all the gold he found. And like I said, he found 3.85 in a Supremo XL. And Supremos are my favorite. I love the Gizmos. But that's going to be it for today. This has been an incredibly long video. I'm going to flash up the score right here, and then we're going to be back with the 24 karat gold plated dime giveaway. So let me flash up the score. And of course, the winner of the gold-plated dime is going to be Rod Kirk. I couldn't give it to anyone else for all the fun he gave me, I'm going to be sending him this as well as something special. He wants the bucket back. He wants all this gold back, so I will be sending him all his gold back, as well as the bucket, this 24-karat gold-plated dime, and something special. So, Rod, thank you. And obviously, my lucky gold painting shirt worked because I wore it for this video. So, I'll have to start wearing it more often. I don't want to ruin it, though, but I'm going to have to start wearing it more often. And as always, thanks for watching, and happy panning.